So I think I might have found one of the best budget flashes for wedding photographers right now. And honestly, I didn't expect to say that. This is the Neewer Z2 Pro. And on paper, it looks very similar to the Godox V1. But what I wanted to know was, does it actually hold up in real wedding situations? Because that's what matters, right? Not specs, not marketing, but you can rely on it when you're shooting somebody's wedding day. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I've been using it. Real scenarios and real results. We're going to compare it to the Godox V1, and also I'll give you a few tips on how to actually use a flash like this if you're just getting started. So when I first got this thing out of the box, the first thing I noticed was it actually feels really solid. You've got that round head design that straight away puts it into the Godox V1 category. And that's a good thing, because it gives you a much softer, more natural light compared to the older rectangular flashes. And the buttons feel decent. The screen's nice and clear, and the menus are actually pretty easy to get your head round. Which, if you've ever used a complicated flash system before, you'll know that is a big win. It's one of those bits of kit where you pick it up and you think, okay, this might actually be decent. Now, in terms of what this thing actually does, there's a few things that really stood out to me pretty quickly. First up, you've got that round head design that we mentioned earlier on. And it's not just there to look like a Godox V1. It actually makes a real difference to your images. You get a much smoother, more even spread of light. So instead of that harsh, direct flash look, it just feels a lot softer. And especially when you're bouncing light around a room, which you'll be doing all day at weddings. It just gives you a much nicer result straight out of the camera. The other thing I've been really impressed with is the colour consistency. This has a really solid colour temperature stability. So your images will stay consistent from shot to shot. And honestly, that is huge. Because when you're editing a full wedding gallery, the last thing that you want is your flash changing colour every few images. It just becomes a nightmare to fix. In terms of power, you've got 72 watt-seconds here, which is more than enough for pretty much anything that you're going to get thrown at you during a wedding day. And something that's actually really impressive is it can actually deliver 100 consecutive full power flashes, which basically means when things get hectic, like on a dance floor, you can just keep shooting without worrying about it falling behind, because it just won't. The recycle time is really quick as well, around 1.5 seconds between full power shots. So again, you're not going to be missing those key moments with this flash. And don't even get me started on the battery. That's a big win too. With around 600 flashes on a single charge, which realistically is going to get you through most of a wedding day without even having to think about changing it. Now this is where things start to get really interesting, and that's the wireless system. This uses the newer 2.4 GHz Q system, and it's actually really flexible. So you can use it with triggers, other lights, or even control everything directly from this flash. If you put this thing into master mode, the Z2 Pro can actually control other flashes that have the built-in Q receiver system. So you can start building out a full lighting setup without the need for carrying loads of extra gear. So yeah, overall the specs are solid, but it's really the combination of things. The quality of light, the consistency, the reliability, and that wireless control that make this thing here really usable for flash wedding photography. One of the things that's actually surprised me is how well that this fits into my existing setup. So if you're already using Godox triggers or lights, this will actually play really nicely with that system. And it also works with a whole range of newer lights like the Z2, the Z3 and the Q series. So you're not locked into just one piece of gear. Basically, it's not one of those flashes that just sits on its own. You can actually build your whole system around it. Now we have to talk about the obvious comparison here, and that's the Godox V1. Because realistically, if you're looking at this flash, you're probably weighing it up against each other. And yeah, on the surface, they are very similar. You've got that same round head design, similar power, TTL and high-speed sync. In terms of what they can actually do, they're also not a million miles apart. But where this gets really interesting is when you start looking at price and compatibility. One thing I really like about the Neewer is that it actually works with the Godox 2.4 GHz X system triggers. So if you're already invested into the Godox ecosystem, you've got triggers, maybe a couple of lights already, this will slot straight into that setup without any issues. And that's a big deal, because it means you're not starting again from scratch. You can mix this in with your current gear and it will just work. And on top of that, it also works with some of the newer Neewer lights as well. So you've got the kind of flexibility from both systems. I'll put down 4 compatibility lists down in the description if you want to check out what exactly it is that this works with. So when you bring it back to the comparison, the Godox V1 is still probably the more established option. The build feels slightly more defined and the ecosystem is just a little bit more mature. But again, this is where it gets interesting, because the Neewer is quite a bit cheaper. And in real world use, honestly, it's a lot closer than you would expect. So if you're trying to build a setup, or you want something that works with your existing Godox gear without spending as much, then suddenly this becomes a really strong option. So let me show you how I've actually been using this at weddings. During bridal prep, you're usually dealing with small rooms, mixed lightings, and let's just say not ideal conditions. So here I'm going to be bouncing the flash off of the wall or off of a ceiling. And this makes a massive difference. You go from kind of flat yellow light to something that just looks clean and natural. Outside, I'm mainly using this as a bit of fill light. So if I'm shooting into the sun, I can just lift the shadow slightly without it looking flashy. And high-speed sync is what makes that possible, because I can still shoot with my lenses wide open. Then when it comes to the dance floor, this is where a flash either keeps up or it doesn't. And to be fair, the Neewer holds up really well. The recycle time is quick enough that I'm not missing moments, and I can just switch it over to manual settings and just lock everything in. And using it off camera is super straightforward as well. Stick it on a stand, connect to your trigger, and instantly you've got more creative control. Now, if you're newer to flash, a couple of quick things that will help your life be a lot easier. Start with TTL. Don't overcomplicate it. Bounce your flash wherever you can, because it just looks better. And when you get to the dance floor, switch to manual so that your exposure stays consistent. And this is probably the biggest one. Don't try and overpower the scene, just use flash to enhance what's already there. So, overall, what do I think? Actually, I really like it. For the price, the performance you're getting here is kind of hard to argue with. Is it perfect? No. But then what bit of tech ever is? There's always room for improvement. but this gets very, very close. And if you're building a wedding kit, or you just don't want to spend loads of money on lighting, then this one is definitely one to consider. So if you want links to this or anything else that I've used, check out the description below. And if it's helped you out, then drop a like and hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.